Welcome back, Battlefield fans. June 6th was a glorious day, as 67 years ago the D-Day landings took place in Normandy, in northern France, leading to an accelerated downfall of the Third Reich. But that's not exactly what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about something else that also happens in France. Operation Metro. During EA's press conference at E3 2011, we got a taste of Battlefield 3's multiplayer, and boy do we have a lot of cool stuff to see. Prepare for an information overload. Operation Metro clearly takes place in Paris, with the Eiffel Tower standing tall in the background of the opening scene. The game mode played is Rush, as we can see Objective Alpha's marker on the screen. To list a few HUD elements present in the multiplayer besides the objective marker. In the lower left corner we will get a compass, right under the minimap, vital for a game that puts a lot of emphasis on team play. As we had in Bad Company 2, we will also have a list of squad members with a small icon to the left showing their current loadout. In this scene we have a squad made up of medic and 3 assaults. But notice something different. There's a star next to the first squad member's name. DICE has brought back the squad leader feature from Battlefield 2 to create a better chain of command. In the lower right corner we have weapon and health stats. The top part shows the current health of your soldier. This might also mean that regenerative healing from Bad Company 2 is gone. The bottom part shows the ammunition in the current magazine. In this scene it shows 31 rounds, which means the player has executed a tactical reload. Tactical reloads are also a new feature in Battlefield. What this means is that when you haven't completely emptied your gun and you reload, you keep the bullet that is in the chamber and gain the additional 30 rounds from the new magazine. We see the total ammo count for the selected weapon. We also see what firing mode is selected, this being another Battlefield 2 feature revived. Last but not least, we have the number of grenades remaining displayed. Kill messages are displayed at the top on the left side, showing the person who kills, the weapon that executed the kill, and the person that got killed. Looking at the weapons listed there, we see the SVD Dragunov makes a comeback from Battlefield 2. We see a new addition to Battlefield, the Pechenik PKP, a Russian-built LMG belonging to the PK family of weapons, which fires 7.62 by 54mm rounds. The AK-74M is another cool addition to the stockpile of available weapons. In case you're wondering, the M stands for Modern Izurabany, Russian for modernized. The ever-present M249 SAW LMG will also make a return. The player here is holding what looks like an M16A4 assault rifle, equipped with an ACOG scope. The following scene shows the gunner's view from inside an LAV-25, belonging to the U.S. Marine Corps. The gunner will control a .50 caliber M2 machine gun, as indicated by the text in the upper left corner. On top, we also see some sort of numbers. We believe these indicate the distance to the target. At the bottom, we see the orientation of the main turret and machine gun compared to the hull of the LAV. The shorter line represents the .50 cal and the longer line represents the LAV's main chain gun. Last but not least, in the lower right corner, we also see the vehicle's health indicator and the occupants of the vehicle. The LAV-25 seating a maximum of 6 people. 1 driver who also controls the main weaponry, 1 gunner that controls the secondary armament, and 4 occupants who will probably be able to fire via firing ports on the sides and in the back of the armored vehicle. The next scene shows the player looking into the scope, aiming at a group of enemies, one of which is probably an engineer, judging by the RPG-7 on his back. After that, we can see the player holding an M4A1 carbine running next to an LAV-25. Looking at the kill messages again, we realize another weapon makes a comeback from Bad Company 2. The MP443 Gratch pistol. Also note the crosshair in the kill message. This probably means that the respective soldier was killed by a headshot. Next up, we see the player shooting at an enemy with this M4A1 shortly after the set of objectives was destroyed and the base taken. Someone else is also firing at that enemy, and judging by the explosions, it could be a fellow teammate and his LAV-25. At the bottom, we get a glimpse of the scoring system. The player here got 100 points for the kill, 10 points as an Avenger bonus for avenging a fallen teammate shot by the respective enemy, and something new, a comeback bonus worth 40 points. This bonus is most likely received when making a comeback from a recent streak of deaths. The final scenes in the park show the player shooting his M16A4, again claiming Avenger points. In the kill messages, we see another weapon to be featured in BF3, the Beretta M9 pistol. One should also note the view through the ACOG scope. In the Fault Line series of trailers, the view was way back, and following feedback, DICE corrected it, moving the view somewhat closer. Nonetheless, it's still not entirely realistic, as the view zooms in entirely when aiming, instead of the zoom occurring only inside the scope due to magnification. As soon as the player starts running, a massive explosion takes place. It could be an artillery strike, or it could be an air-to-ground missile strike. Either way, it looks like it could cause a lot of destruction. The assaults continue, and we're about to find out why the map is called Operation Metro. The fight goes underground into the Parisian subway system. It looks like a very linear area of the map with no possibility of flanking, just a simple, adrenaline-pumping head-on clash. There's one scene in particular that might grab your attention. An enemy in an NBC suit stabs you. The whole thing looks very cinematic and realistic, but you have to ask yourself why the Russians are wearing NBC suits. Could it be that there are chemical weapons present in Battlefield 3's multiplayer? In the scene where the player is crawling holding his M16 on the platform of a metro train station, we see a squad member down, with a little lightning bolt-like figure next to his name, indicating he's incapacitated and needs a medic to revive him. However, traditionally, only medics are capable of seeing that symbol. The player sees it, despite being an assault. This is because DICE has rebalanced the classes, and now the Assault class can trade in the underslung grenade launcher for advanced medical equipment and the ability to revive incapacitated teammates. This means there is no more Medic class, as it becomes the Support class, focusing on suppression and heavy firepower with their light machine guns. They can also resupply teammates with ammo. The Engineer and Recon classes remain basically the same. We then get a glimpse of the PKP Pechenik, here equipped with a combat scope, being fired blindly inside a train. The action once again moves outside onto the streets of Paris, the player firing his AKS-74U carbine, also equipped with what looks like a flashlight, at oncoming Russian troops. When shot, the first Russian drops what appears to be another AKS-74U. What's interesting about this scene is that the player is firing an AKS-74U, but he's an assault trooper. Could this be a sign that the 74U or other carbines will no longer be available for the Engineer, as they were in Bad Company and Bad Company 2? Also, notice the fact that Russians are again seen wearing NBC suits for protection against chemical weapons. We then see the obstacle vaulting animation, the soldier jumping down onto the street, holding an M249 saw with a combat scope. Notice that the uniform has Desert Marpat camouflage. Peculiar, given that Paris is nowhere near any desert. Also, notice the Battlefield 3 advertisements on the street. A new bonus has also been added, as it can be seen in this scene. Now, players will get extra points for suppressing the enemy too. In the penultimate bit of footage, we can see what the new MCOM stations look like, while the player runs towards an armed MCOM while reloading his M9 sidearm. Last but not least, we see a building's facade getting struck, possibly by a rocket-propelled grenade. Finally, an explosion takes place which knocks the player down and kills him. Some people initially thought the player got killed by the rubble falling down onto something explosive, but he was actually killed by an explosion caused by an M67 frag grenade. However, something a few people failed to notice is that the explosion actually takes place elsewhere. Observe the minimap during the scene with the facade being blown up, and then look at the scene with the player falling down. Also observe how squad members and their loadouts suddenly change. It's just edited in for an explosive ending. In the penultimate scene, also notice how the player chose the Sniper class and is equipped with an SR-25 sniper weapon system. And so ends the first multiplayer trailer for Battlefield 3. It was short, but it was sweet, proving that DICE took the best of all Battlefield games and put them all together into one big game that might just become the ultimate first-person shooter.